Week 11 of sudden death high school football. It's sectional semifinal week. Stay tuned for scores and highlights coming up next on Lakeshore Scoreboard.
Doing as much as you can, as quickly as you can, is important to me. Life is short, and the earlier we get started helping our community, the better off our community will be.
Week 11 of high school football, sectional semifinal week tonight across the state of Indiana. And we'll talk about one of these games a little later, but the highlight game tonight was the defending 2A state champs on the road against a very difficult opponent.
For my money, the winner of that game is going to be in the driver's seat to win the state title.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're a very tough game.
I agree, but they play Bremen next. And Bremen can score.
Oh, yeah.
You know, LaVille is a good team.
We'll see how much they score next week.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, you know, this week, LaVille was undefeated.
Right. And I mean, Andrean's got to guard against a letdown.
Yes.
But they're going to be heavily favored next week against Bremen.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you'd imagine.
All right, we'll talk about that game when we have the scores pop up. But let's start off with some games locally with some highlights. We'll start first over at Highland. This was not a competitive game a few weeks ago, but it was highly competitive tonight.
All right, we're opening up the game with a pass here. Ooh, but that one's intercepted. That's Blake Vanek right there. You're going to hear his name a lot today.
Especially on offense.
Especially on offense, right.
Oh.
And there he throws an interception to Cody Johnson. And here's Trey Gibson, off and running, gaining about 15 there.
He only had 3 touchdowns and 200 and some yards.
Only, right? Beautiful pass down there at the 1 yard line. That is Cody Johnson there. And Trey Gibson in for a touchdown. All right, we've got the ensuing kickoff here, and this is Salmon cutting back. Big long strides, making people miss. Excellent return there. Here's Vanek looking downfield, tucking it, getting upfield. That led to a Jason Bogner field goal. Here's a catch by Stafford. Weaving in and out, getting a good 10, 15 yards. But heavy doses of Trey Gibson.
Third leading rusher in the area.
Trey Gibson again. And how about one more time? In for a touchdown that time. Here's a catch by Castillo, a tunnel screen. Big game. Big game. Here's Castillo again. Oh, not that one. This one's Castillo. He's going to take that tunnel screen again. In for 6. Now, don't let the final score fool you. This game was really tight up until the very end.
Oh, yeah. Highland had the lead in the first half. You know, this is the second year in a row that Highland has really gotten better as the season has gone on, and they went. They played really well in the postseason, even though they come up a little short tonight. You know, Cody Johnson, state champion pole vaulter. I'd love to see him get the pole vault out. You know, let's go over the top when you get close.
Yeah,
to the goal
right.
line. Huh?
That is the crossover sports that Northwest Indiana needs.
You really never hear about a football player that's also
A pole
a
vault.
pole
Yeah,
vaulter.
it shows the dexterity and the athleticism.
You know,
That's
Trey
excellent.
Gibson gets it done around the goal line, but I would love to see Cody Johnson get the pull down, just go way over the top. That would be kind of cool. All right. Sorry. Chester, I'm thinking, Cody Johnson, he won the state championship, didn't he? Okay. Yeah. Chesterton and Michigan City. This was a tale of two halves. Kind of crazy game tonight here.
It really was. A bit of a comeback by Michigan City. Chesterton got out early, and we'll start here. And interceptions early was the name of the game.
This Garrett Lewis has had a tremendous year on both sides of the ball. I think he had a fumble recovery and a pick early
Right,
in this
he
game.
did today.
All right, and that's Brady McCormick there for a touchdown. And a fumble on the ensuing kickoff. That is what Michigan City can't do, is turn the ball over in these circumstances. And Ethan Troy for a touchdown here.
Ethan Troy's made a big
Absolutely.
difference.
That was Jaden Hart with a nice 10-yard run there. A nice catch there by Anthony Murphy. Chesterton recovering a fumble there. Another turnover here by Michigan City.
A lot of turnovers in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Brady McCormick again, running over people, getting down inside the 5-yard line.
A little jump pass.
Jump pass. Shades of Tim Tebow there. That was
Your Boilers won that play, I think.
oh, not well. That was Jaleel Watkins with a return there. And Jaden Hart play there. DeAndre
Nice.
Collier, touchdown pass, beautiful, right on the money. Garrett Lewis with a run. Getting pushed out about the 25-yard line. And Brady McCormick again. He runs hard, doesn't he?
He runs hard and he plays hard.
Yes, he does. Oh, touchdown catch by Cameron Bell.
Look at those speeds.
Nice, big, long strides. Heck of an athlete there. Here's Collier again, getting the high point of the ball, coming down with it about the 25. Got Jaden Hart with a nice catch in traffic there. Collier once more. And Derek Coleman, touchdown run.
But after 28-20 at halftime, no points in the second half.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy.
Our radio correspondent said that the defense is really clamped down in the second half, and that made for not a whole lot of scoring, as you can see.
That's really something because Chesterton got the big lead early after the two turnovers, and McCormick was running the ball very well. And I think it was 21-0. I think Chesterton was up 21-0 in that game before Michigan City came back. But interesting, no points. Halftime adjustments are very important. We're very important again for Crown Point tonight, as we'll talk about or see here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, Hammond Central and Hammond Morton. The Wolves of Hammond High beat Morton pretty handily earlier this year. Not tonight again.
The battle for Hammond is the second installment of the game. All right, we'll start off with Dontel Harris here with a nice run.
Oh,
Freddie Brown gaining some yardage off the left side.
Brown had a couple of touchdowns for Morton tonight.
Harris keeping his feet in traffic there, moving on, getting some positive yardage. And here's Freddie Brown again for Bowman, or Morton getting the touchdown there. A bit of a sack there. That's Adonis Roberts. Adonis Roberts with the catch there in traffic. This is Akeem Harrington with a nice run. Lots of time in the pocket there. Ooh, nice catch by Deshaun Woods. We've heard his name quite a bit this season.
That's the younger brother of Jordan Woods.
Beautiful return by Martell Kelly there. Freddie Brown following his guard, getting down close to the goal line. And Dontel Harris punching it in for 6. Got Central back going to the air. Akeem Harrington with another catch. And yards after contact, too. That's an excellent play. And Akeem Harrington taking it in for a touchdown.
You know, Morton did not look in these highlights tonight like a team that has only won one game.
Yes.
Highly competitive. Actually led in the first half.
Right.
Great effort for them tonight. But again, coming up a little short, which is difficult when you play well. We had a lot of teams who were heavy underdogs tonight. Actually play very well in the first half,
Yes.
have leads, and make things very competitive.
In fact, the next game.
Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the highlights,
boy.
shall we?
Oh, boy.
Portage led 14-6 at halftime, but it's been a trait of Crown Point all year to make halftime adjustments and look like a different team in the second half.
That's Wilkie with the catch there. Portage came out slinging it. Keenan Miller with a nice run. Looking to the left side, that's Kenyon Andrews with the catch right down there close to the goal line. And Wilkie with the catch, cutting back, bringing it down inside the 5, and that led to a Wilkie touchdown there underneath.
Boy, the things broke down.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we have the return here. This is Josh Eberly. And taking big strides there, big hole up the middle. Johnson throwing the ball. That's Landon Delich there. Ooh, Santiago hit as he caught it. Good defensive play there by Portage. But Johnson getting it done with his feet here, taking it in, diving at the pylon, getting in for touchdown. Here's Elijah Taiwan doing what he does, running over people, barreling forward. Terrell Kraft had a little bit of an answer himself, getting about 10 yards there. Landon Delich there. Taking out the referee as we're at it. Spinning, rumbling, and bumbling and stumbling. Hopefully the referee's okay.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's never. Oh, we got an interception there. That's Aiden Barney with the interception. Taking it down to about the 25-yard line. And that led to this. A Terrell Kraft screen underneath. Making 1, 2, 3 people miss, in for a touchdown. Beautiful play by Portage. And Portage put a scare into Crown Point early, but Crown Point did what they do.
They, Crown Point only had 6 points at half. Johnson came out and had 5 touchdowns. That's the difference.
Yeah, they went totally, it looked like, to the run. We've talked about Crown Point's offensive line wearing you down all year. And I think they scored at least on the first 3 drives in the second half.
Yes.
Right, might have got a turnover or 2 to help that, but they were a much different team in the second half.
Yeah, 38 points is good for a game. It's especially good for a half. If you're just going to score 38 points in a half, what are you going to do? There's not a whole lot you can do to counteract that.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they were trying to use the pass to set up the run in the first half, but in the second half, just some of the highlights I saw online looked like they were using the run to set up the run.
It went well.
Yeah. All right, how about the rest of the scores for Northwest Indiana High School football on Lakeshore Scoreboard heartbreaker tonight for LC. They were up 28-7 in this game before losing in overtime. They head off to a great start against the favored Lafayette Jeff team, who's really good, but a tough loss for them tonight. Valpo, pretty good performance for the Vikings tonight. I know Justin Clark had at least a couple touchdown runs that I saw in the 42-3 win. So it's Valpo at Chesterton.
Right.
Yes.
Maryville, 55-20 win over Munster. They'll play at Hammond Central next week. West Lafayette, the juggernaut, 52-12 over Calumet. They will be in Cedar Lake to take on Hanover Central. We've been looking for that one all season long. It's here for a sectional championship trophy next Friday night. Knox won this ball game. The Redskins won. They advanced to their victory over West Noble.
22-0.
22-0 shutout win. The big one, this was 8-6 for most of the night, and then Andringen scored a lot late.
Yeah.
They had a couple of turnovers late. They had a pick six, and Drake Bowen wore down LaVille's defense and
3
ran
touchdowns.
Yeah, 20 points in the last 4 minutes of that game.
Yes, yeah, that was an 8-6 game. South Central, I think that score is reversed.
Right,
wasn't
it should be Culver.
Culver 61-0 over South Central. And the Jays, one loss, they win tonight 25-6 over Triton. We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with the game of the night on Lakeshore Scoreboard.
Doing as much as you can, as quickly as you can, is important to me. Life is short, and the earlier we get started helping our community, the better off our community will be.
If you're a fan of the prep sports programming that you're tuning into here on Lakeshore PBS, please consider making a donation today in support of this great programming. We are counting on you.
Catch all the region's prep football action on Lakeshore PBS Sports. We kick off at 6 p.m. on 89.1 FM with Ben Kolodzinski and Wayne Svetnoff. We'll give you a look into the week's slate of games with analysis and live updates from correspondents around the region. At 10:30, switch over to Scoreboard for highlights, final scores, and a recap from the area's best games. Keep up with all the games from anywhere on your phone or tablet with live streams of the shows and up-to-the-minute scores on Facebook and YouTube.
All right, game of the week, New Prairie and Lowell. Possibly this one could have been a lot closer tonight, but New Prairie really, with a standout victory.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. New Prairie is one of the strongest teams in the northern half of Indiana. A lot of people are thinking they have a shot at going downstate, and Lowell was in a bit of a bind here.
Yeah.
New Prairie is known as a running team. They did a lot of passing here, at least in the first half.
Yeah. Not a stellar night for South Bend area teams and matchups here with Northwest Indiana teams, but New Prairie's kind of in between South Bend and Northwest Indiana. But a big performance by them tonight. Let's check out some of the highlights. The Prairie taking on Lowell this evening down on Route 2.
A lot of excitement down there in the Inferno, but the crowd kind of got put in their place a little bit on one of the first plays of the game. Reese Lipinski touchdown catch that brought a lot of the air out of the stadium. A lot of New Prairie highlights early in this one. We've got Dallas Ryans here with the return. Maybe a block in the back there, not called, but a huge return here.
And a fumble.
Ooh. Looks like New Prairie recovered that.
I don't know.
Oh, we got the ball back to Cole Staley. He brings it down in for a touchdown there. And again, Noah Mungia, a very dynamic running back out there. He just has tons upon tons of yardage. Beautiful pass there. That's Dallas Ryans there, touchdown. Incredible play. That ball was on a rope. Got Braden Walker with a return here. Big return, big hole up the middle. Cuts back, brings it out to about midfield there. Here's Riley Bank, Mr. Football. He is a football player's football player if there ever was one. One of my favorites here in Northwest Indiana. And he cuts, or goes on the right-hand side, gets the touchdown run. Unfortunately for Lowell, that was about all the scoring that they had for the game. Because you had the ensuing kickoff here, Noah Mungia, and he's going to show off some of that speed that he has. Getting out of the traffic, stutter step, and making it to the corner.
Wow.
Big strides, taking it all the way to the end zone.
Quick, speed.
Dynamic athlete out there in Rolling Prairie. And again, through the air, Got Dallas Ryans one more time. Wide open, all alone
Boy,
for touchdown.
he is an excellent receiver.
He is, absolutely. So this is another game where this was the halftime score, and there was no scoring in the second half.
You know, New Prairie, if you don't see them a lot, and we don't, they kind of have the reputation of just run.
Right.
With Mungia, and he's had a lot of games in his career over 200 yards.
Right.
But they might have caught Lowell a little by surprise throwing the football tonight as much as they did.
New Prairie has an excellent coaching staff, and their head coach is one of the best. Casey McKimmey is one of the best head coaches in Indiana, and he has a very dynamic offensive mind. When you can run the ball and run it down your opponent's throats, he will do that. When you can throw the ball and run the ball, he will do that too. Anything to get up an opponent and then just demoralize them and make sure that you can coast in the second half. He ran the ball in the second half, ended up chewing up all the clock, and the halftime score was the final.
And obviously here, New Prairie understood that defensively, Lowell might be weak a little bit and maybe concentrating on the run too much.
Right.
He saw that in
Sure.
the film. They were very successful with that.
Right, and you know, Dallas Ryans is, you know,
yes.
you hear about Mungia, but Dallas Ryans, you gotta account for him. Obviously, as we saw in those highlights, because he's got a lot of speed.
Absolutely. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Excuse me. New Prairie is an excellent team. Lowell is an excellent team. This was just one of those deals where, you know, the talent level, the program, everything was just on the side of New Prairie right now. And it seems like every year they run into each other. Last year's game was a little bit closer than this one, but New Prairie's on a roll right now, and they're going to be meeting up with another region team coming up.
Yeah, I think the pass game, you know, gave Lowell secondary giving up some big plays.
Right.
Obviously, it was difficult for them to stay in the game that way now with that happening. But yes, New Prairie and Hobart coming up next week. So New Prairie's tour of the region is going to continue as they go play over at Hobart. All right, all the scores one more time in high school football for Northwest Indiana. Lake Central losing a heartbreaker in overtime, 34-28. Elsewhere, Lafayette Jeff will be coming to Crown Point. Valpo over LaPorte, 42-3. Valpo going to Chesterton, Battle of Porter County, rematch. Maryville, 55-20 over Munster.
They're playing Hammond Central.
Right, going to play at Hammond Central next Friday night. West Lafayette on the collision course with Hanover. Well, the collision's going to be next Friday night at Hanover. West Central, Hanover. The Sacramento Raiders, they have it as a draw.
Do they?
Really?
Not picking
Wow.
really one way or the other. Knox was a winner tonight, 22-0 over West Noble. They advance. Andrean, 28-6 over LaVille. They will play at Bremen. And Bremen was a winner over Lake Station tonight, 53-7. Culver Community shut out South Central, 61-0. So Culver Community is going to play at Judson. Next Friday night, the Jays, one lost to LaVille in overtime, 25-6 over Triton tonight. North Judson could go deep in 1A. Crown Point stormed back from behind in the second half to move on, 44-14. Again, they're hosting Lafayette Jeff next Friday. Can't afford a mediocre first half next week.
No, sure.
And there you see Hammond Central hanging on, came from behind to win. They will host Maryville next Friday night in the sectional championship. All right, there's your scores for week 11.
Yes. Right.
And the last one, 42-6 with New Prairie over Lowell. Any surprise of the night tonight?
I would really think that, Crown Point, Crown Point in the first half only scoring 6 points and trailing Portage was kind of a surprise. Now they came back and really played well, but I'll take that as a surprise.
They're really well coached, let's
Yes.
be honest with you,
Yes.
and you can make those adjustments. My whole thing is when you have this bye week, it's rust versus rest. And which do you want? Of course, you want to rest up and get healthy, but sometimes you get rusty.
Yeah, I do.
You know, and for me, a team that wasn't rusty is the Highland Trojans, and they played really well against Hobart. Don't let that final score fool you. That final score is not indicative of how close that game was. It did get opened up towards the end of the game, but I tell you what, Highland looked really good, and they have a good infrastructure and good bones to be successful for the next few years.
Yes,
You know, to stay with that, I mean, Morton's won one game all year.
Right.
Right.
And they played pretty well tonight. And looked a lot better on the highlights tonight than they have earlier this season. They looked nothing like a one-win team tonight.
That's
You know, they stayed with it. Big rivalry game. Hammond really handled them by 20 points or so during the regular season. And they gave themselves a chance to win. So there were some good performances. Unfortunately, you know, nobody wants a moral victory, but there were some good things for some teams that lost tonight.
There's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we'll see you next Friday night with another edition of Lakeshore Scoreboard on Lakeshore PBS.
Doing as much as you can, as quickly as you can, is important to me. Life is short, and the earlier we get started helping our community, the better off our community will be.